What are you addicted to that is perfectly legal? Beat Saber. I'm a 44-year-old dad. On my second game ever I almost scored the perfect on a hard level, missing only 3 blocks. I've been hooked ever since. I've been mock sword fighting with a Renfair group since I was a teen, so I think that might have something to do with it. Well, I would be up at least at 5 a.m. to make it at work before 6, working in a shipyard on a ship being overhauled, meaning there was no AC or berthings on the ship, so it's half-assed and there's nowhere safe to relax. Work until about 6 p.m., getting one lunch break the whole time. Then, when everyone else leaves for work except for me because it's my duty day, so I had to pretty much be up until work the next day when you're supposed to be able to sleep but not if you're the only person in your department on duty. This also meant I had watch, which for me is basically another 4-hour shift in the middle of the night, just standing there, literally dead-ass tired and standing up doing nothing for 4 hours. Eventually the next work day starts and I have that same 6 a.m. 6 p.m., no sleep, no shower, still in the same uniform. I have those duty days every week and there's only so many months you can do this for before you have one really tiring ass night. Keep in mind, just because work is over at 6 p.m. doesn't mean you go home at 6 p.m. The older you get, the less important sleep is. Well, it's sort of like a bell curve, with really tiny babies unable to sleep through the night, teenagers requiring like 10 hours of sleep a night optimally, and older individuals no longer needing to sleep more than like 4-6 hours. So we just average it out and say everyone needs 8 hours and completely ignore the physiological impacts of insufficient sleep for a large part of our population during their formative years. Sleep should be more respected. It's sad, but that's how it is, haha. I had chest pains recently, and my GF said I should go in to get checked. I told her it's fine, I'll just see if it goes away. It has, but when I felt the pain, my first thought was the medical bill I was probably going to get. I know there's assistance and stuff, but even then, I don't want to use my money on that when I'm trying to start my own business, haha. I think I was just stressed out or something. I was definitely overworking myself. Feeling better now, but screw doctor bills. I've not been to a doctor or anyone to get diagnosed because it seems too complicated to just put one label on it, and I struggle at times to even explain what I feel, so I don't know how they'd be able to work me out, and I wouldn't want to be wrongly diagnosed either. I strongly suspect it's depression, but it's hard to tell because you can't look inside your head like you can look at a physical injury and say, yeah, that's a broken arm, so it could be anything when it comes to mental health. It's just confusing as fuck. I know that much. I'm gonna try to give it my all these coming months and try to shake whatever this is and hopefully find some clarity to see what that is myself. Therapy is my last resort if I can't solve it on my own, so I'm gonna give it my best shot first. That's the point of a therapist, my friend. You would vomit at them about how you feel and they sort through it. They take the job off you and do it for you. They'll ask, what did you do this week? And let you just go. And from just that, if you have a good one, they'll be able to pick through the mess and find the cues as to what's going on. Your life doesn't have to fall apart or be the worst to be in therapy. I swear by it. It changed my life. Even just try one session, you may find a great fit and someone who can help. Good luck. I'll piggyback off of Profile for dating, because he's kind of right. I've dealt with depression and anxiety since I was 12. Was put on antidepressants immediately. One of my issues with anxiety was emetophobia. I made myself suffer greatly during puberty and developed eating disorders because I was afraid of vomiting. For some reason I was mortified or ashamed to share this part with anyone, not even psychiatrists or therapists. Looking back on it, I have no idea why I was so afraid to talk about my phobia, because in hindsight it would have really helped the health professionals help me. TL doctor, I withheld info about my mental illness from my doctors and suffered because of it. There's a really good chance what's troubling you already has a name in the DSMV. Giving it a go on your own is what most people will do and is fine. A lot of people will be able to ride it out or make changes and see improvement. During this though, you always need to be aware of where that line is when you say, okay, this is becoming too much to handle and I officially need to seek outside help. I always fall into the trap of leaving it too long, and by then it's a much bigger issue to fix. So a word of warning, on the other hand, it might not be depression at all, or a combination of depression and something else. A doctor's visit can get you on the way to ruling other things out, like doing a bit of blood work to check your iron levels, vitamin D levels or thyroid functioning. If you have the means, I do this now. If the doctor recommends therapy or antidepressants, it's still okay to say you want to see how you go without first. For me, it turned out after years of treatment for depression and taking supplements, I actually have a sleep disorder too. Really blindsided me. So you never know what you might find. The thing is, treatment is totally different and fixing the sleep isn't something I would have figured out on my own. Finally, struggling to explain how you're feeling is a bit of a hallmark for me until I had, too much, practice doing it, and now I can pinpoint what the symptoms seem to be. Doctors and therapists are experts and I guarantee they see hundreds and hundreds of people who can't quite put into words what is wrong, just that something is wrong. They can help by asking the right questions. Best of luck. Yeah, dude. I've had days where I wake up at 2 p.m. and force myself to go to bed at midnight, then I'll have a long productive day the next day. Don't stop trying. I recently went back on antidepressants and it took 2 months for me to notice a difference. I'd about you, but 2 months is a long fucking time to lay around and hope a medication helps you. It's gradually getting better. I had to take baby steps of making sure I eat breakfast and dinner every day, the brushing my teeth every day. Now I'm getting at least 15 minutes of exercise a day in the morning. All of this took 5 months of allowing myself to be depressed and go at my own pace. That's what it's all about, not letting a bad day dictate the rest of your week. A bad day is nothing. You can always bounce back and start fresh. I wish I could force myself to go to sleep though. I know getting up at 7 p.m. doesn't help, but it's something I struggle with anyway because I tend to overthink a lot, so there's times where I end up lying awake with my eyes closed for hours. It's hellishly boring. That's one of my problems. Being stuck in my head pretty much all the time. Even if I'm watching a film, a lot of the times I can't even concentrate on it because I'll be in my head. It's like I don't know how to just relax. I won't stop trying though, no matter how bad it feels. You've got to push through to make it to the other side and finally feel better. I'm glad I've got patience because it takes time to get your mind right, one day at a time, and that is a long time. Sometimes you need to just wait out the storm for everything to clear up, and that's exactly what I've been doing. Looking after myself every day even if I feel bad. You're right about allowing yourself to go at your own pace. As long as you're improving yourself, you're making progress. I might just be ignorant, but I've always been paranoid about medication. I've always liked the idea of getting better naturally without having to rely on anything. I understand that in some cases people need them, but I like to think that you can get better without them. Something that really helped me is an alarm clock app that gives you a task to complete before you can turn the alarm off. The one I used is called Alarmy, free, and I set it so I need to take a picture of the barcode on my box of protein powder, forcing me to physically walk to the kitchen before I can turn the alarm off, which generally gets me awake enough to where I'm not tempted to go back to sleep. Word of warning, set a different task when you go on a trip. Nothing worse than waking up in a hotel room and realizing you don't have your goddamn barcode to scan. I see many people have chimed in with a lot of advice you should probably try, but I will say, from experience, they're all band-aids until your circumstances change. Now, please do not take this as a hopelessness comment. Things will change and get better. I can't tell you when, I can only tell you that they will. Do what you can with these band-aids until you reach that point. Stick in there with us all. I say this because my band-aids have held me together until basically a few days ago, and I'm mega optimistic now. Keep holding on. This is why I set dual alarms and have my alarm set to radio programs I'm interested in hearing in the morning, or music that gets the blood pumping immediately. Moving my phone across the room at bedtime so I have to get myself out of bed and beyond 2 feet also helps, as well as keeping a secondary alarm in my home office which is across from my bedroom. I've been battling morning sleepiness my whole life, and this is as close as I get to being fully functioning in the morning. If I have school, work, appointments in the morning, I wake up and make it on time, but the pandemic has thrown a wrench in that. Mentally, it's impossible for me to motivate myself on my own when I have no prior obligations or plans. I tried making a morning to-do list. I tried drinking 3 glasses of water before bed. I've tried leaving my phone alarm in the bathroom. Lately my ex has been calling me in the morning and talking to me for at least 10 minutes. That usually wakes me up for good. Unless I sabotage myself and stay in bed, which I still do, just not every day. It's causing me real grief. ATM, I'll wake up about 7:30 a.m., get the family sorted for school. No biggie these days, as the only thing I do is make sure they're up and sort any last minute things and make sure they leave on time. The problem is, I don't work ATM. I'm starting uni in October. I used to be self-employed, but COVID fucks that up, and at 9 a.m., I'll just go back to sleep, on the sofa, bed, wherever. I'll wake up between 11 a.m., on a good day, and 1 p.m. I have so much I could be doing, but I'm sleeping my time away. I have heaps depression ATM, and I'm waiting for my ADHD diagnosis. But there's got to be some CBT or way I can break this habit on my own. Getting me down so much, and hugs to anyone in a similar position. It sucks. I love a nap, but this is too much. Maybe I'm just turning into a cat, probably the depression, but I'm optimistic. Over the past year and a half, it's gotten so bad that it's honestly starting to think I might naturally be a phasic sleeper, because I've gotten into this pattern of waking up, being wide awake for several hours, then going back to bed and sleeping for several more hours. I won't even feel tired, and suddenly there's like this magnetic pull towards my bed, and all I want to do is close my eyes for just a second. I figure it's got to be similar to jet lag or insomnia, where your body refuses to cooperate within your schedule because it's determined to stick to its biological rhythm. Sometimes it's not being able to sleep when you're sleep deprived. Other times it's oversleeping even though you're well rested. Damn bro, sorry to hear. Life is good at fucking you in the ass when you least expect it or need it. My depression also has me snoozing endlessly to the point I can't believe I'm still employed. Like everyone says, it's like heroin. I can't stop. I have all the cognizant and proper thoughts in the am like, hey, it's time to get up. This is stupid, don't do this again / you're going to hate yourself later, and yet I cannot resist the temptation. Video I watched from some magi on YouTube said it's BC we lack a purpose in our day. When you have one, you are excited to wake up, and without this happens. I'd cow to make my job better, so I'm starting to look for another that's more rewarding. I bet sleep and overall morale improves. Enough about me though. I hope your situation brightens and you find something better next. Hard to imagine now, but keep your head up. We're all going through some BS. Hopefully you have your health and friends to lean on. This is what I wanted to say. I really hate it. I'm going to the gym religiously to try and bulk up, but chocolate is my nemesis. Edit, yes. I know the calories would help with bulking, but I don't want to get fat too. Also, to those saying it won't make a difference as long as I eat at a calorie deficit, you have no idea what bulking means. And that's still technically not true. Also, yes, I have been trying to get dark chocolate, but I'm quite poor. I can either get a 4-pack of chocolate bars for £1.50 or a single dark chocolate bar for the same price. It's so overpriced. I think your logic is kind of flawed, though. Unless you're sticking to a keto diet, which you probably aren't. Given you still eat chocolate here and there, you'll be consuming carbs in one form or another anyway, so chocolate isn't gonna make you fat, ruin your workouts. When I was bulking, I definitely ate a lot of everything, but when I began cutting, I switched to dark chocolate, cause as another user suggested, it's richer, less sugary, and less goes a much longer way. If you're that focused on not eating Cadbury, digestives etc., I'd pick up some dark Lindt from Sainsbury's. I like the stuff with sea salt, or something when they're on sale. Usually reduced down to £1. Lasts much longer than you'd think. Also, yes, I have been trying to get dark chocolate, but I'm quite poor. I can either get a 4-pack of chocolate bars for £1.50 or a single dark chocolate bar for the same price. It's so overpriced. It's not overpriced. Reality is that almost all chocolate, even most of the dark one, is cheap stuff with barely any actual chocolate in it. Skeptical at some point I was gifted some really good, inexpensive, proper actually real chocolate, and I basically can't eat normal chocolate anymore. So I rarely ever eat any at all cause I can't really afford the good stuff lol. In terms of darkness, at greater than 85% is when you can no longer eat it en masse, below equals 75% is when I can easily eat it all in a row. 75-85 is my preference. Ever use one of those ear rinse squeeze ball things? They're about $5 at the pharmacy. You fill it with warm water and squeeze and it flushes out your ear. As a fellow cotton swab addict, I suggest about 10 flushes on each side and you might be shocked and awed by what comes out. Edit https://www.amazon.co/30ml zero wax remover cleaner adults/DP/B07RQ83441. That's what I use. Sorry, more than I remembered, but looks like others are posting kits that are a little more advanced. I might have to level up. Edit too. A couple points people keep asking. The water should be quite warm, but not hot. You could keep warming it up each successive rinse, but definitely don't start with cold water. Also, don't squeeze crazy hard, same thing as with the temp. Start gently and ramp it up. I don't jam the end of it in too far either. Use the first couple attempts to dial all these things in a bit, starting by erring on the side of caution. If you're hesitant or unsure because of different ear issues, maybe go in and ask an expert to do it for you. At least then you'll have a better idea how it all feels. Edit 3. That's not an affiliate link. I've had a few people comment and message about it. I just searched for the product on Amazon and pasted one of the first links that showed what I use. I have a question that you might be able to answer. I use Q-tips after every shower. I do my best not to push anything back but to go in the middle and then circulate outwards, but I understand that even doing that you still shouldn't be sticking those things up there, so I get checked every year, and when the doctor looks in my ear, if he never mentions anything, am I just fortunate with some kind of special ear wax or something? I figured even with being really cautious while doing it, I'm still pushing stuff up in there, but the doctor says nothing. If you have any insight into this, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. I am not the doctor. You are correct. We shouldn't be sticking anything in our ear canal, but it does sound as if you are aware of the risk and are careful. From what I saw, most people use Q-tips in that manner, but a lot just push inward. I feel that your doctor would mention it to you if there was anything concerning. You'd also notice reduced hearing, a rustling, which is weird all on its own and feels like it might be a bug in your ear, or even have pain. Sounds like you're doing it alright though. Hope that answers your question. Ears is self-cleaning. They flush the wax out. I have undeveloped eustachian tubes and am absolutely bent from cleaning my own ears, but despite how good it feels, you don't need to. Ears are self-cleaning. In the rare instance you get the large hard wax buildup, you need a doctor or ENT to remove it. Don't just go digging around with a Q-tip.